Alright guys, I am back with Factorio, and if you don't remember, last time I had just made furnaces to automatically cook this copper, and this is going to be useful because now I just have two furnaces permanently making these copper plates. And I use these copper plates, these right here, I use these to make all sorts of things, but most importantly, I use them to make science packs. And this is important to me because I need these science packs to progress through the game, because I have to research all of these researches in this game up to this one, which requires 1,000 reds and then 1,000 of all the other kind of science packs. But the researches I need to go for right now are the ones that just require the little red bubble. And that is these six. These six. And what I need to do is I need to set up a factory with assembling machines, and these assembling machines will make gear wheels, make these, because these science packs require one gear wheel and one plate. But in Factorio is a game where you can make the game do everything for you, to where you don't have to manually do anything anymore. So what I want to do first is I want to route some of this coal coming down here. I want to make a splitter, and what I need to do right now is I need to make a ton of conveyor belts, some inserters, and some power poles. And while these are all crafting, I'm going to make a splitter here. And this has turned this conveyor into 2 conveyor belts. And I'm going to drag it all the way up here. Oh no. Oh, there's always trees in my way. There always has to be trees in my way. So I'm going up here because I want all my resources to be easily grabbed and away from the iron. Because I know eventually all of this iron, or most of it, I'm going to have miners on. So I don't want to run any of my factory through that, because it could mess it up. So right here is a good spot to run my coal to. And it's also a good spot to run my iron to on this side of the furnace. I mean, on this side of the conveyor belt. Now I'm not going to have enough conveyors yet. I have to grab some more iron. And then I'm going to put furnaces here and here, so I can have inputs and outputs. And then I'm going to have the copper plates from over there being routed into one of these assembly machines. Same as the iron. Oop, that's the wrong way. So if I haven't explained it in a way you can understand yet, basically what I'm doing is making my iron be smelted in all the same place. So it's automatic. So this iron ore is going to travel up this conveyor belt to this one, where I have furnaces that are smelting iron using iron ore and coal. I need to connect this up to power like this. So now everything is back and powered up. So now these are cooking iron, and I need to take these and make a conveyor belt for them. So I need to make these 2 conveyor belts meet in one place, so I can save space. But for that, I'm going to need a little bit more iron. So I'm going to sit here and grab my iron for a minute and until I have enough iron for all my conveyors. I'll be right back as soon as I have enough iron. Alright, now that I have a bit more iron, I've crafted some more conveyor belts, and I gotta make these meet this copper conveyor belt at this corner over here. And now I'm gonna do this so I can have all my resources in the same spot, because that just makes everything a lot easier for me. If I can just have a ton of resources going all to the same location, it just makes it simple for me to go, and if there's a problem where I need more iron or something, or I need more copper, I can just go look and I can figure out what I'm not making enough of and fix it right there. So now that I have my conveyor belt out here, I need to show you what this game is really all about. I need to show you my automation assembling machines. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to have this assembly machine making iron gear wheels. And I'm making iron gear wheels because it's what I need to make Science Pack 1s. I need to grab some more iron again. So I need to make Science Pack 1s, remember, because I gotta do all these researches, and every research on the board is gonna require Science Pack 1s or red Science Packs. But red Science Packs aren't too difficult to make, thankfully. So I'm just gonna grab one more piece of iron and then make another assembling machine 1. I'm gonna need to make some more conveyors, but right here, this assembly machine is gonna be making Science Pack 1s. And as you can see, this machine was automatically loaded with iron gear wheels from this machine right here. And now I just need to drag this conveyor down here, and then the conveyor will go right here and supply copper directly into this assembly machine. If you don't understand what I'm saying, whenever it all connects up, it should make sense when it's all moving. I just need a few more pieces of iron because I don't have very fast iron production yet, and that's something I'm going to improve immediately after we automate Science Packs. So now Science Packs are automatically being made in this machine. And we can see this if we make an inserter and we make a belt for the Science Packs to be exported to. So since I might make more assembling machines here, I don't want to put the export on the top, I want to put it on the right side. And I need to power it. So now we have Science Packs 1s. And I want to make my lab area be over to the right so it doesn't interfere with anything. But for now, I don't have enough iron, so I'm just going to put my lab area right here because this won't interfere with anything currently. But when I get a bunch more iron and a bunch more conveyors, I will immediately move the labs to their own section. So now the lab is being fueled by Science Pack 1s, or the red Science Packs, automatically because they're being made in this assembling machine. So now, as you can see, my research bar on the top right is moving up pretty quickly, and I don't even have to do anything. This factory would go and just go away and make red Science Packs and power the lab and do this research if I walked away from my keyboard. But there's a way we can make it better. I need more iron production. So all I have to do this, it's really easy now that I have everything set up. All I have to do is grab another miner, and I can just put it right next to this one. I can just put a miner right here and put it going up here. Now to save conveyor belts, I can just route this one into this one and then have them both going like this. And now I have 2 iron mines producing iron ore twice as fast as I just was. So that means I'm going to need some more furnaces to get through all this ore. So I just made 3 furnaces. Oh, my research finished. And if I pick another research, it'll just start going immediately, just like that. So I need to make a few more. I have my furnaces. I need to make a few more belts and a few more inserters so that these can be working. But for that, I need to grab some more iron. Everything in this game is just iron. So much iron in the start. And then the game gets so complicated that when you run out of iron, you don't even realize it. You just see there's a problem and you have to go figure out what's the problem is, and usually it's not even how much resources you're making, it's where you're putting them and how you're using them. So now I have 3 furnaces, and these 3 furnaces are making iron, and I'm about to hook up all 5 of these furnaces that I just made. So I can hook up this one. Now we have 4 hooked up. And if you don't know what I'm doing there, I'm just running along the belt and I'm picking up iron so that I'm picking up iron so that I can craft more things. And now we have 5 furnaces hooked up to smelting iron. So if our ore isn't fast enough to keep up with it, that'll be okay, because if we walk down here, it might look like we're still not producing enough, but if we walk down here, we can see there's going to be a big stockpile right here at the end. And this will eventually fill this entire conveyor belt full of iron, because we're making a lot more than we use right now. And that's good. It's good to make a lot more than you use. Right now I need to get a radar. And you know how last episode I said that I'm going to need turrets? Well, I'm going to need turrets because there are enemies in this game. And I'm lucky that none spawned in my spawn square. But now that I put this radar down, it's going to research. It's going to research and make more of the map visible to me. So whenever this bar in the bottom right fills up that says sector scanning progress, whenever this bar fills up, that means that it's going to unlock a little square on the map for us. So we'll just give it another second, and then we can check the map and see how much it uncovered. Boom, it uncovered one of these tiny squares, and the radar just goes in a square and unlocks every square on the map, and then goes out another square and another square. But I can make more radars if I want to uncover the map faster, but I don't really have to. I usually just put 4 or 5 to start. I'll put 4 out because while this one's going pretty fast, I'm pretty sure it does get more difficult as sectors are scanned. But we can have 2 going at the same time. And now I think we've run into our first power problem, because as you can see on these machines, the electricity bar is not full green anymore, and that means they're not working at full efficiency. And if these aren't working at full efficiency, that means nothing is working at full efficiency, like this right here, how the electricity is going down. That means I need to add more steam engines. So since I have enough iron, I can just craft one right now. And then I don't remember how exactly they work, but I'm pretty sure boilers can support more than one steam engine. I'm not sure since they redesigned them. But since this one just heated up, the temperature is correct, and the performance is full on both of them. And this boiler is still going to heat up all the way, it just takes a little bit longer. And now we have double the power production, so everything's electricity is going to be back full. See on the right, you can see electricity usage is back to full. So I need to find out what unlocks green science packs. I'm checking the effects tab right under the research to show me what unlocks making green science packs, because most of these researches require greens to continue. I don't know what it is. I might have already researched it. Let me check. Okay, I have. So I need to make green science packs, I need to make one transport belt and one inserter for every single science pack. And you might be thinking, well, you make inserters all the time, why don't you just make those manually? And that would be a problem because I have a lot, it takes a lot of time to craft these. Like, look, I'll craft one right now. So it takes 6 seconds per science pack. And I don't want to have to run and go fill up all these science labs manually, because I'm not always just going to have one lab. I'm going to have a bunch of labs all at the same time. But for now I just have one because I didn't need more. But it's time to start making science pack 2s, or green science packs. So that means I have to automate conveyor belts and inserters. So to automate conveyor belts, I need to take one iron plate and one iron gear wheel. So here I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to make another assembling machine 1. I'm actually going to make a few of these. And I'm going to have it making iron gear wheels again. And it's going to make iron gear wheels, and it's going to export them onto another one that's crafting transport belts right here. Oh, I mean right here, like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another one of these making gear wheels, except these gear wheels are gonna be put straight into this one that's making transport belts, like this. So now this assembling machine is going to be making transport belts using the iron from the conveyor and using the gear wheels from this assembling machine. So we're almost out of the red science technologies. Pretty much the only ones we're going to be researching from now on are the military ones, and those aren't super useful for me because I'm not doing anything with that yet. So the other thing I need to automate is a little bit more difficult. It requires 3 ingredients: iron plates, iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits. And electronic circuits require 2 ingredients as well. And all of this requires iron, so that tells me I'm going to need to make another iron miner. Because down here I saw that I'm not getting enough ore, and these 2 furnaces aren't even active right now because there's not enough ore being put into them. So since this is a really easy fix, I can just take a miner and just put it there. And now this will just mine and make even more ore. And so if we wait here for a second just to see it work, and then we walk back up, those other 2 furnaces should be active by the time. This is, see how there's 3 on the conveyor instead of 2? So this is the first time that the 3rd miner sent ore, because that's when we placed it. And so not enough ore is being sent to this furnace and this furnace because we were only producing enough to power 3 furnaces at once. But now that I've added another miner, we should have enough to power 4 or 5 furnaces at once. So we should be getting, yeah, so now we have enough iron ore generation to power all of these furnaces at once almost all the time. I'll go and add another one there in a second. So if you didn't understand what these radars were doing, they're all scanning, they call it sectors, is a portion of the map. So if I check, my map is a bit bigger than it was last time because they've discovered they've discovered about half of one section of my map and a square up there. So the radars are just going to keep going, expanding across my map. Oh, they just found 2 up there. Just like that. They're just going to research a bunch of the map for me so I can see if there's anything I want, like oil or uranium or any enemies that I have to be on the watch for. So back to automating greens. I was working on having these assembling machines make transport belts. But in order to make an inserter, I have to make an assembling machine 2, I believe. And assembling machine 2s are unlocked at, I don't recall, here, automation 2. And I get automation 2 by researching electronics, which is what I'm doing right now. So that bar is slowly moving up there. I'm going to add another lab here, so it will go faster. And now I will be researching things twice as fast. As you can see, this electronics bar is moving quite fast because I have 2 labs researching it instead of 1 now. So now that I have these labs set up, I need to set up automatic greens because most of these technologies take greens as we get into the harder stuff. So now I need to work on automating electronic circuits and more iron gear wheels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a larger system than this because we have surpassed the needs for iron gear wheels than just 1 or 2. We have to make a system with a conveyor belt so we can see how many iron gear wheels we have. So this means I'm just going to tear all this up real quick. Don't worry. It will all be back in a minute. So I'm just going to grab everything. And now, both of these need to be exporting onto one belt. Because I have to see how much of these I'm making. And if there's a problem in my production, I have to know where it's from. So I'm going to have both of these making iron gear wheels. And then I can have an assembling machine here that grabs some. And an assembling machine farther away that grabs more. So I can just have these run by. And then this assembling machine can be making reds, like I was earlier. How I was making these red science packs. I just had to stop doing that because I had to move everything so we could make the factory better. So now I'm going to use this is the first time I'm using underground belts. And these are significant because underground belts, as you can assume, can go under the other things I've created. So if I need to put something under this gear belt, for instance, I can just move it, and now the resources will come out on the other side. So these don't make very quickly, but when one is made, you can see it. See, there's a red science pack now at the end of this drive. There's one right there. And now I can take these and I can run them all the way out here where we can have another temporary lab set up. I'm not making my permanent lab set up yet because we don't have automated greens yet. But when we do that, I will make a permanent lab set up where I can just put like 30 labs laid up and down so they can research stuff pretty quickly. So this whole game is all about, like, I know I said it's about automation, but like I don't know if you imagined it on the scale like I say, because I've played this game quite a lot, and I know how it is later in the game. But to some of you who've never seen this, this is probably super complex, and you might not be following everything I'm doing. So, if you have any questions, let me know. This episode, I increased iron production to 5 furnaces, hooked up my iron and my copper to one central location, and automated red science pack production to allow for automatic research for red sciences. I think that's it, and I'll see y'all soon.